The amount of effort that you have put in is equal to the amount of effort that you get out. Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Adab. Hey guys, welcome back. Now as you see in this thumbnail, today's video is to understand what is leverage and can you use leverage to build a mental model for yourself? So let's start. What is leverage in the first place? Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and I will move the world. So lever by itself, lever, fulcrum and effort are terms used in physics a lot. But in this case, I'm going to use leverage and lever by what Naval has often spoken about it and tell you how you can build leverage to, build your career and become a 10x or 100x worker to produce greater and greater outcome. So, what is leverage? Throughout our history, humans have used time to trade directly for output, which is basically building a 1:1 relationship. You put the number of hours in, you get the number of hours out. That is it. Like if you put 8 hours in, you get 8 hours out. The amount of effort that you have put in is equal to the amount of effort that you get out. Let's say you were chopping wood or carrying buckets of water. You know that 7 hours put in are going to be equal to the 7 hours of output that you are going to get out from that. But in 21st century, that is not the case. You have leverage. Anything that can be a lever and minimize the ratio of effort you put in is leverage. For example, tools, human labor, products, capital, code, all are a form of leverage. Leverage allows you to accomplish 100 times what others can. It is a force multiplier for your efforts, your time and judgment. We live in an age of infinite leverage. What do I mean by that? Where you can maximize the output of your work to a ridiculous and exponential degree. Now, what are different types of leverage? Number 1, human labor. Number 2, capital. 3, media. 4th, code. So I'll now explain each of these accordingly. What is capital leverage? It is just money you have access. Sometimes it is borrowed money. For example, an investment manager could invest all the money that they have in some hyper growth businesses to try and boost their investment returns. If they make right decisions, they end up making more money. But if they make wrong decisions, they also lose more money. Leverage compounds your judgment. Capital leverage scales very well. And if you get good at managing capital, then because of compounding, you get to manage more and more capital. This type of leverage is easier to manage than labor leverage. So the second type of leverage, which is labor leverage. What is labor leverage? This is just other humans working for you. It is the oldest form of leverage in the world. It is not too great in the modern world. Labor leverage is extremely intensive, messy, and high risk. It is not permissionless in nature because somebody has to follow you and believe in you in order to work for you. This type of leverage also relies on decision making. For example, a manager or a director in your company makes a decision. Then they have a whole team to carry out that decision. This magnifies the importance of their decisions. Now, what is the third type of leverage which I had mentioned? Media. This type of leverage has no marginal cost of replication and it is permissionless. Starting with the printing press, it accelerated with broadcast media and now completely blown up because of internet. Which means now you can multiply your efforts without needing capital or money from other humans. This is the power of media, using media as a leverage. With YouTube, Twitter, Substack, books, radio, Spotify. This is the media which is permissionless in nature because you don't have to ask for anybody's help or need somebody's permission to use all these platforms. And because they distribute using technology, you can outproduce a non-leveraged worker by 1,000 times or even 10,000 times at scale. Once you write a book on Kindle or write a blog post or create some music and put it out on Spotify or make a video for YouTube, there are thousands of servers at a central location in the world which then do the task for you, which then take care of distribution without any of your personal efforts applied. But you have to reach there. So I won't say that your distribution, तुम्हारा distribution एकदम instantly हो जाएगा. हाँ, तुम्हारा जो है ना हर जगह visible होगा, but there is personal efforts applied, doing the SEO, doing some sort of marketing to stand out. तुम्हें essentially अपने आप को तो बेचना है ना. जब मैं ये वीडियोस बनाता हूँ आप लोगों के लिए, मैं अपने आप को बेच रहा हूँ, अपनी पर्सनालिटी, और आई एम ट्राइंग टू गैदर योर अटेंशन by creating more and more valuable differentiated content for you guys. So इसी तरह से you have to with media you have to sell yourself so that people would want to view you, because the economy or the currency that all these platforms rely on is attention. And now the last but definitely not the least form of leverage, because this is the most scalable form of leverage with the highest barrier to entry. What do I mean by barrier to entry? It's possible that a lot of people can code, but people generally do not copy your exact form of code, right? They usually write their own code, and that's why code is not really easily copied. So that's why in coding there's a very high barrier to entry, and generally even right now not a lot of people are able to do it. Maybe 10% of the human beings in the world are able to do coding. 10% of population only. That's what I think right now. I'm not aware of the accurate numbers here. Now, for example, think about the Google search algorithm. Design of that algorithm has been the foundation for one of the most powerful corporations on the planet. Effort was made once, but its outcome has been multifold since 2 decades and still continuing. So how does code scale? So let's take another example. A good software engineer, just by writing a little piece of code and creating the right application, can create billions of dollars in value based on what they are working on. Now, this is what Naval said on leverage in his podcast on product and media are the new leverage. An army of robots is already here. It's very cheaply available, especially when you can order this army around. The commands have to be issued in computer language because that's what it understands. Coding is such a superpower because now you can speak the language of a robot and you tell them what to do. I will end this video with this note. With leverage, your decision making becomes far more important than how much time or how hard you work. Now, let's get to work. So ये थी वीडियो on leverage. How you can use leverage as a mental model. So मैंने जो ये पूरे आपको different types of leverage बताए, the data was collected mostly from Naval Ravikant and some from physics and history. तो इसका purpose ये था कि जो है ना आप कैसे leverage को एक mental model adapt कर सकते हैं. If you work in an organization and if you are able to use the power of leverage by using either capital leverage if you worked in that industry, or maybe taking accountability of your work and doing 10x or maybe 100x someone else's, you are able to create leverage, and based on that leverage you can ask for whatever salary you want. That's how you can adapt a mental model, and using this mental model you can become financially independent for yourself. I hope you like this video. If you did like this video, please share this video and give a like on that video on the thumbs up button. I will see you for the next time. Bye bye.